Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having an incredible day or night in Jesus. Thank you so much for being with us today. We're going to talk about proto-Trinitarians being quite okay with two-God language. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. Again, thanks for being here. Is people like Origen Adjumentius, who's considered in some ways the father of the Trinity, almost for sure, the concept of eternal generation of the Son, that he seemed in some ways quite comfortable with saying he believed in two gods. Now, where I got this from, I've probably read it over the years, like in a phrase from a Chalfant book or a Bora book or somebody like that, maybe a Brother Bernard book. But to see it in Alan Siegel's Two Powers in Heaven book, where he goes into it quite extensively to the point I've got it marked, and I'm thinking about doing an entire program, a deeper dive into that. It was just shocking because it wasn't just Origen. It went into Hippolytus and the charge of Hippolytus of ditheism. Callistus was charging him of believing in two gods. And so then I began to do a research study on the internet with this, and I ran across a quote in The Refutation of All Heresies, which I've begun reading, I haven't finished it yet, by Hippolytus, where he goes into that you've got the Father who at some time in the past kind of emanated or created the Logos or the Son and deified him. And then at the conclusion of Refutation, I've read part 1 and part 9, if I remember correctly. So there's some of the middle parts, and there's like 3 parts that are missing. And I also found out they found like this complete statue of Hippolytus, which is pretty interesting. But like there's 3 parts missing. And so he goes into, why should you believe in Jesus? Because you're going to be God. It's the theosis doctrine, basically, that you're going to be God, and that just as God the Father made Jesus, the Logos, God, that he can divinize you as well. When you see him, you shall be like him. And this is how you'll miss hell. So, Origen, again, multiple times, even Celsus is accusing him, saying, look, the Christians are believing in two lords, and Origen saying we feel quite comfortable in so many words in saying two gods, and in certain aspects we can say one God, bringing the John 10:30, the Deuteronomy, Isaiah passages to play, this kind of thing. So I just found that fascinating that at the time where modalistic monarchianism, Sabellianism was so predominant, and it was a belief of the early church. You can see like their Paradoxine by Brill Publishing for confirmation of that, but many others, Adolf Harnack and Jaroslav Pelikan, go into detail on that in some ways anyhow, that they were fighting against people, proto-Trinitarianism. Again, quite comfortable saying they believed in two gods. And Tertullian was also very aware of what he was saying might lead to that. And then somebody sent me, I think it was Brother Dominguez, sent me something from a Colombian scholar on a Council of 343 saying very vehemently God was not 3 hypostases, 1 hypostasis. It's all very fascinating. I believe there's one God, and he became flesh in Jesus. And Jesus was the Father in flesh. And the Holy Spirit is just the Spirit's working in the world. The Spirit, singular Spirit. God is a Spirit. And read all the language when it talks about God's Spirit and these type phraseologies. It's very obvious, Joel 2:27, 2:28, many other places, that God, there's not 3 spirits in God. There's only one Spirit. And I constantly get from you good folks here, well, you're body, soul, and spirit, and the body's not the soul, and the soul's not the spirit, but you're one. I'm like, yes, I'm one person with one name. So we can argue the rest, not 3 persons. So God bless. Thanks for being here. Join us daily. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.